Pasha Paroh, I'm excited to talk to you. We've had so many conversations in the past over many levels, but I want to talk about how you have created some amazing t-shirts for me and the idea of working with a graphic designer to get an idea out.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss that with you.
One of the things I do is I come up with an idea, but I'm not an artist. And I just not willing to spend the time to come up with doing all the graphics. And then we talk about it and I say, I want a t-shirt design like this and an idea. And one of the ones, which I have underneath here, but I just went on a bicycle ride. So I wanted to, and one of the ideas I had was I wanted one that said seeking intelligent life on Earth, and then give it to you and then let you expand on it. And what's exciting is you always come up with something beyond what I thought. So I give a few ideas and you expand, and then you go, here's this and here's this. And then I go, well, I like this, but I hadn't even thought of this. So now we got 2 t-shirt designs on it, which is where it came of. And so talk about when you're working with clients, that back and forth, because having an individual creator where you can work with them directly is so important versus an agency where you give design specs, they're handed on to someone else. It's never what you really want because it's so third party. And then you're in a constant battle and go, could I just talk to the creator?
Yes, I agree with that. A lot of people, they know what they want. A lot of times there's a difference between what you actually want and what you might really need.
Mm-hmm.
See, a logo, anybody can draw a logo. Mm-hmm. People don't come to me for logos or regular t-shirt designs. They come for me for what's known as brand strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the positioning and the application of science to create form and function.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when you tell me what you want, I probe and I extract the ore, the mineral of the substance from you. And then I process that with my intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm able to create the frequency bridge to your actual goals and purpose of it all. And that's what people need, is that connection, that bond. And that's what I do. So you have an idea what you want. And the thing about infinity is the more you expand on any one point, time and space-wise, the more time you spend there, the more it expands. So that's what happens. You got an idea what you want. I go in with the super microscope, get down to the ions of the matter, and then create the molecular bonds to bring you to where you need to be. And that's why a lot of times it looks different than what you may say you want in the beginning.
Yeah. And where we've got, and sometimes I've said, I like that one as a second, but I really want to change this back to this. And now I have 2 products. And that's the example with the fun Seeking Intelligent Life on Earth. I'll make sure to put that link below so they can see it. And I know the big picture you work with is the big picture branding. So I appreciate you're willing to say, hey, okay, I'll work with smaller projects too. And it's just been a lot of fun because I said, I really want to just get some of these t-shirts out as concepts. And we got several concept shirts out that have been quite successful with it. And it's an example of continuity that can occur through it. So it's almost like I developed a line with you, and then I have some other lines as well. And this has been such an exciting process when you can work directly with the artist, the creator that thinks both the marketing of it, the practicality of it, functionality, and comes up with something that I love.
Absolutely, Martin. When you work with the individual, it actually gives you that one-on-one connection where you, like you said, you develop a synergy and you develop a more complex and better understanding of the team and the team goal and the business need. When Martin Brossman comes with his project, I understand that. And we're able to hit the ground running. And that's the great part about remaining personal on the small business level, is you get that intimacy factor in the relationship the business relationship.
Now, I've done, as I said, several t-shirts. I'll put them below so you can see them. And I want to also talk about all the other things because I don't know if you've heard the term Renaissance man, but when I was younger, that was very inspiration. Now I'm 63, but the idea of someone that would dabble in multiple disciplines and then find interconnections. And I see you as one of those people too, that you have a passion for things and exploring different areas. So would you talk about some of the others? Because you got graphics, you got video, you got music creation, and probably several others that I haven't even included.
Hey, is it on the outside? Thank you for mentioning that, and observing that. So on the outside, I would say it's easy for one to think that it's many different disciplines. What we got to ask ourselves as individuals, what is our focal point when we are doing something? Because then you can have many different disciplines on the outside, just simply be many different tools, as if a carpenter is going to have a hammer and a power drill, right? Do people look at the carpenter and say, why does he have so many tools? Right? So I think when people realize what they're good at, they'll realize that they have many different talents as subgenres of the talent that they actually have or the purpose they have in life. And then just go in and master that. Like we said, any one point in time and space, the more you focus on it, the more it expands. Get in there, dig it out, and resource yourself as a mineral. The ore of you, your creativity and your purpose. Develop that. So on the outside, it looks like I do many things, but really I'm just playing with energy.
Yeah, you're doing your mission, and that it expresses itself in many different ways.
Yes. I was going to say, for me, I think everybody has a purpose of what they're doing for it.
Yeah.
And then you always enjoy what you're doing because you know why you're doing it. So I think what we have here collectively is an opportunity to really become sustainable in our communities if we look at the talents that we have in the people right next door and then encourage them to refine themselves and improve themselves, because it doesn't just improve them, it improves the community as a whole.
Yeah, we met you dropping in on Alignable, I believe. Wasn't that where we first met? You found one of the groups and joined, and
Correct.
I'm in Raleigh and you're in Charlotte, and I've really enjoyed watching your exploration. One thing I think so important with creators and artists is having the courage to do a study in, to experiment with something new where it's not all perfect, not all worked out. And I've seen you do that. You go, I'm throwing something out and I'm trying like this little track here. What do you think? And you're making yourself vulnerable for people to give feedback and engagement. And that's where the real aliveness occurs. I think so many people are afraid of taking a risk, afraid of looking like it's not perfect. And the problem is life is more fulfilling at that edge, at that moment of, I'm not sure I know what this will look like. What do you think right now?
Right. There's one, you know what I mean? I do it because, and thank you again for the observation, right? I appreciate that and the question. I do it because, one, that's who I am. But at the same time, it encourages everybody else to know they can do it too. Like, I don't want to be the guy that, because granted, nothing may ever come of this. I may just, right? But I don't want to be I want to be the guy that says, hey, look, you can do this too. You watched me do it. You can do this too. Right? Then to get everybody to believe in themselves. I don't want to be the one that pops up all perfect and flawless, because when you get to see all the work that gets put into it, they'll appreciate it more. And I think that's, like you said, people are afraid of that. And instead of being afraid or having fear, we need to embrace that and be proud. I mean, look at the first time when you learn to tie your shoes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look how far you come with that.
There's a quote from Julia Cameron, and I love paraphrasing it. I don't even remember the original. She wrote the book, The Artist's Way, talking about the real struggle of creating art. And she said, if you want to find most human beings' greatest expression, their greatest gift in the world, walk in a graveyard. They're rotting in the ground because they never had the guts to let it out.
Yeah. Don't, by keeping it in, right? like you said, it goes to the graveyard, has no value there, but it's so valuable. Even if you feel in your mind you're not supposed to take this to whatever level, you releasing it, whatever it might be, is going to put energy into the space of that manifesting in our reality. You see what I'm saying? Because whatever we focus on, we give life to. Yeah. And then at the same time, you could become the next biggest whatever, but you're robbing yourself from doing it because you never get started. So whatever it is, just give it a try. When you lay down for that last night, that last eyes closed, man, go knowing you did everything. Don't hold nothing backtrack. Well, I mean, you know, so we all have our limitations and morals, right? But other than that, I mean, as far as like, you know, bucket list type stuff, go knowing you did everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, someone said the biggest, there was a listing things on their deathbed they list, and most is, I didn't take enough little risk in life, you know, is often a repeated theme. Now, this reminds me of one of my projects is my podcast show. I've done many before, and I thought, since I was teaching podcasting, I'm going to make this one so simple that someone with a simple cell phone was no other means but a cell phone, and maybe once in a while they can go somewhere to get internet access, could do the same thing I'm doing. And I've really enjoyed it because I have, like you, I have a studio, I could do intro music and all these other things. But I created like 59 shows now, and I started with the first 10 on my phone. And the goal was, can I get them out there costing me nothing in 2 hours so anyone else could do it? And I'm really enjoying it more because it's just simple. It's not over polished. There's no big intro. It's me and then a free editor online. Done. Out the door, text, check it. And that's the type of thing where you can learn a lot by doing those little calculated experiments. Like you implied, you know, you don't want to jump off a cliff to find out you can fly or not without a parachute. You need to take the calculated risk within the means, but learn from him. And one great entrepreneur I know, Pat Howlett, said, entrepreneurs learn how to fail fast and fail often, so they learn from their mistakes. Yeah, and that's something I've seen you do, and you know, not fail, you know, but experiment like this in many ways.
Some things definitely are failures, and you know, again, I'm a fan of your podcast. You know, I have the YNet 7, which is the knowledge side. And that was started based off of etymology. So see, that was the attempt at saying, hey, look, once we realize the words we use every day mean something different, right? Yeah. We'll better be able to understand and interpret conversations and have a standardization of it, right? Because if we're using slang, that doesn't change what the words mean. So when we were talking about the energy earlier, you see the same thing, right? So we got to know how to use those tools. And that's actually what technology originally meant, was it was referring to grammar. Yeah.
Well, tell me about your current projects and what are you working on? And I'll make sure we get all the links to whatever you want people to know about, along with the shirts we mentioned, so they can start following your progress in the world, your experimentation in the world, and your creations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, embrace the fact of your whole journey, and just be willing to share it with the people. It benefits everybody on many different levels. I'm Pasha Paroh, Pasha space Paroh. If you just type that in Google, everything comes up on the knowledge channel.
It does.
Yeah, so that makes it easy for you. I appreciate the support, man. And you got some great ideas, and I really enjoy clients like you because it puts me in a position where, and the fact that, you know, I can have that relationship with you where I can be like, hey, I know you wanted this, but look, what do you think about this? And here's the whole psychology report behind it. Yeah. That's what I think makes the difference between random stabs at just drawing logos that you feel like you like today, and then needing to rebrand yourself 4 years down the road or 2 years down the road with extra expenses or rework, right? and something that's going to last you for time. So it's just Pasha Paroh. I got music. I do a bunch of different stuff. Just check it out offline and tell me what you think in the comments.
It's also an example when someone says, well, how do you know about branding? You go, well, just Google me.
It is a good example. If you don't like the music, you're gonna like the fact that I could get it around the world and getting people engaged. So you're gonna like something about it. And that's what I hear. I just want to help the community grow. And I have a bunch of intangibles from really recognizable names that we could talk about later that I want to invest in the community, my experience. That's really why I do this.
Outstanding. Well, we'll do more. I just wanted to get one on, and it's well overdue. We've had so many snippets of engaging conversations about life and engagement and philosophy and business. This is the start, so we'll look forward to our next one, and maybe we'll make a list and we'll get my assistant to schedule it so we make sure it gets on the calendar. But really appreciate you and always enjoy chatting with you and working with you. It's a lot of fun and very inspiring to me as well.
Thanks, Martin. I appreciate the opportunity, and you have a great day, okay?
Sounds great. Take care.